Hi, second graders. Welcome back to Social Studies. I want to first start off by saying that I'm really proud of you guys because we not only chose a cause that we thought was important, but you guys did something about it. You guys were good citizens by doing something about this problem. We learned about it. That's so important. Before doing anything, you have to learn about what's going on. We also said, hey, we're going to be a part of this. We're going to make sure that we help stop bullying. Then we made signs. We spread the word. We spread our message by making signs and putting them across the whole building, our posters. Then we kept sharing our message by going to the different classrooms and telling them what we've learned. We also made videos to share with the whole school about what we've learned. These are amazing things. Keep doing it. And if you see bullying, stop. Stop the bullying. Stop it. You guys know how to do it now. And you can also spread the message even as you get older, even as we stop talking about it as a whole class, we can still do something about it as we see it happen. Okay? So I empower you to keep doing it. Even when I'm not telling you to, you guys now have the chance to keep going, keep um, being a part of the change and making bullying stop. All right, guys, but today we are going to move into something new. We are going to do something called a timeline. We're going to create our very own timelines, but before we can make a timeline, we first have to know what it is. Now, recently, like 2 weeks ago, you guys wrote books about yourselves, right? And you also, before that, you guys wrote biographies. So you wrote about other people's lives. And sometimes in those books, you will find something called a timeline. What is a timeline, you might ask? Well, a timeline is a line. See how there's a line right here? That has different times throughout a period where things happen, big things happen, okay? So this is a timeline of a person's life. So this line is showing somebody's life and big things that have happened in this person's life, okay? And this person is Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. So it's talking all about his life, okay? So let's look back at his timeline. What does it start with? Boom, boom, boom. This is the very beginning of his timeline. And it says Martin Luther King Jr. is born. Every single timeline that's about a person starts with when they were born, because that's the very first thing that happened. So we are going to be doing something very similar. So pay attention to what's happening with his timeline. It's going to help you. Then let's see how it ends. Go to the end of the line. And what happens last? Well, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. is not alive anymore. So it talks about how he was killed. That's the last thing that happened in his life. With us, we're alive. So we're going to think about what's happening right now, because that's the last thing that's happened to us, right? So we'll talk about that in just a second, like I said. And then everything in between are some big things that happened in his life. And they're in order, right? So first he was born. Then he led this protest. Then the Supreme Court ruled that it was unfair to separate people on buses, right? And then this happened, then this happened, then this happened. And then at the very end, what happened? Well, he was killed, right? So these are the different big things that happened in his life, and they're in order. So a timeline, again, is just the line that tells what are big things that happened in this period of time. So we are going to make one about our own lives. So what you guys need to do is get a piece of paper and a pencil. So I want you to stop my video and go and grab those things. At this point, you should have a pencil and a paper. What you are going to do first is you are going to draw a line in the very middle of your notebook. Make sure that your notebook is not like this. up and down. We want it to go side to side so it's long and we have plenty of space. Stop the video, make your line. Okay, now notice how I have a line at the end and a line, or at the beginning, and I have a line at the end. Make sure you have those lines, okay? Those are going to be helpful. Okay, at this point you should have your timeline just looking just like this. Okay, now I want you to have your heading. Your heading is going to say timeline, and you want it to be nice and bold so people can see. Timeline. So make sure yours says timeline at the top. All right, hopefully you stopped the video and you wrote the word timeline at the very top. All right, this is my timeline. It's talking about my life. You guys are going to make one too, and we're all going to start together. So the very first thing that I want you to do is this, at the very beginning. So the very first line we have here, you're going to put your birthday. My birthday is January 16th, 1994. So I put my birthday right here. That's the very first thing you need. So right now, write down your birthday at the beginning of the line. Once you have your birthday written down, you're going to want to say, I was born, because that's what happened right here at the very beginning of your life. You were born. Notice I have a picture down here of me as a baby. Why? Because I want to show what happened here. You also need a picture underneath here. So just to review, right at the beginning, you need to have your birthday. You need to write, I was born, and then draw a picture of yourself as a baby. Okay. Hopefully you've stopped my video and you have finished the very first step, which is your birthday, you were born, and a picture to go with it. Then you're going to go to the very end, and we're going to write today's date because that's what's happening right now. So March 3rd, 2021, that's today. So we got to write this date, March 3rd, 2021. What are we doing? We're learning from home. If you want, you can put you're in second grade too. It's up to you. Learning from home. Then I have a picture. I drew an iPad with books to show learning from home. So every single person should have this. You should have at the very beginning your birthday, saying I was born in a picture. And at the very end, you should have learning from home, March 3rd, 2021 with a picture. Okay, once you have those two things, you're going to need to make two lines in the middle. And you are going to think of two things, big things that happened in between the time you were born and right now. What are two things that have happened in your life that you want to share with us? Maybe you talk to us about being baptized. Maybe you talk about the day you joined All Saints Academy. Maybe you talk to us about becoming a second grader. Maybe it's the day you met one of your best friends. Maybe it's the day that you got a baby brother. Maybe maybe it's the day you started a sport. You can choose something big that happened to you. You're going to pick two things, and you're going to tell me what day did it happen or the year. And then you're also going to say what it was that happened in a picture. So for example, after I was born, the next thing that was big that happened in my life was I graduated high school. And that was on June 3rd, 2012. And I have a picture of me with my cap and gown. So again, I graduated high school in June 3rd, 2012. I have what happened, and I have the day that it happened in a picture. So you need to write yours. If you want to do that you were baptized, you would write I was baptized, and you'd give me the day and draw a picture. And then here I have my next thing that happened after I graduated high school. A few years later, on August 21st, 2017, what happened? I became a teacher. And there's a picture of me as a teacher. These are two important things that happened to me: graduating high school and becoming a teacher. I have written the dates that it happened, I told you what happened, and I drew a picture. That is what you guys need to do. So everyone is going to have these two things. Everyone's going to have when they were born, and everyone's going to have today, learning from home. You guys, again, are adding two things that happened to you and put them in order. So make sure the one that's here happened first and this one happened next. All right, guys, I can't wait to see some big things that happened in your guys' life. I want to see what it was that happened, the day, and a picture. All right, guys, I'm excited to see it. Go ahead and when you're done, you're going to take a picture of your timeline and put it on Seesaw. Have fun making your own timelines.